trash takeover. You got to keep your trash hauled out. People who let little things cheat them out of big opportunities. People who let little things cheat them out of big opportunities. And you feel almost helpless. What could I do about that? And that's nothing. And you say, well, why is this? I'm asking you not to sign up for that class. Don't sign up for these why is this class. It's just the way it is. Like winter following fall and spring following winter. So if you got that, the thorns are going to get some. But now here's the good news. Let's read the rest of the story now quickly. The sower now what? Keeps on sowing the seed, keeps on sharing the story, keeps on giving an invitation. Yes, the invitation can be more powerful for me as it was 1 year later than it was the first month. Because now I'm saying I'm making twice as much money part-time as I'm making on my full-time job. Yes, the story can be more powerful, but the law of average is still going to work. But now here's what the story said. Finally, the seed falls on good ground. Finally, the seed falls on good ground. Now put this in parentheses. It always will. If you keep sowing. If you share a good idea long enough, it will fall on good people. But now here's the rest of that story. Some of the good ground did 30%. And some of the good ground did 60%. And some of the good ground did 100%. You say, well, why the difference in numbers? I wouldn't sign up for that class. Go on. Have I said that often enough now? Don't register for that class. It's just the way it is. Now, I tried to get the 30s to do 60. Found out it was more than I could handle. I used to say, I'll make them successful if it kills me. I almost died. No, you can't do that. Here's what you do. Let the 30s do 30 to the best of their ability and keep doing 30, because that's how they build their lifestyle and get what they want out of life. And let the 60s do 60, and let the 100s do 100s. Now, how can you get some to do 100%? You got to go through all these experiences, and you got to talk to all these people. Let me quickly give you now a list of the skills that changed my life forever. Developing a new philosophy that I could do it in my network marketing experience now led me to developing new skills. Right, I knew how to milk cows, but it didn't pay well. Here's the first skill I learned that changed my life. Getting a customer. Making a sale. And of course, sales for you is easy, right? Because it's not technical, right? The technical is all taken care of. You simply represent your product. If you share a unique product, talk about its merits, persuade someone that it's the best, they agree to buy, that's the simple art of sales. But in your business, here's what it's more like, sharing. Because using the product yourself, gathering some testimonials, you simply share that. So we're not talking like high-powered spacecraft technical skills here. It's simply sharing something you've discovered with someone else and doing it well enough to where they agree they would like to participate. Now, here's what happened when I learned sales. It multiplied my income by 5. Now, it didn't take that much because I wasn't doing that well in farm country, but it did multiply my income by 5. Sales, getting customers, laying that incredible foundation for an entrepreneurial career. So now I've got 2 skills, milking cows and making sales. Here's the next one I learned that changed me forever, and that's recruiting, introducing the business opportunity to new people, learning how to give a good invitation, learning how to give 2 kinds of presentation, formal and informal. And the third part of recruiting, of course, is following up. Once you start a new life, now you got to take care of it, like a new mother would take care of her baby. You don't start a new life and abandon it. You start a new life and nourish it like a mother and protect it like a father. You got to be both mother and father to a new person. Nourishment, ideas like a mother. Protection, Help defend your new life against the encroachment of outside voices that would try to talk them out of it. So you got to be mother and father in this art of recruiting. We call it being a sponsor. And being a sponsor is like being a bridge, helping somebody from darkness to light, from skeptic to faith, from not knowing to knowing, from no confidence in themselves to starting to gain confidence. You're the bridge that helps people from the shadows to the sunlight. It's one of the most exciting positions to occupy in all of network marketing industry, is the bridge, helping people crossing the bridge out from discouragement into recognition. Being this bridge, that's what the recruiting magic is all about. You've got the answers. They've been looking for the answers. You've got the answers, and you help them cross this bridge. You see something in them before they can see it in themselves. You assure them that it's possible to be more than they are, therefore they can earn more than they've got, have more than they possess. This is one of the great arts in the world. And here's what's exciting about this art. It pays big money. Because now you operate a unique philosophy taught first in the Bible. John Kennedy taught it in his inaugural speech. Zig Ziglar's got one of the best ways to put it. And that's the secret to wealth. The secret to wealth and fortune. First taught in the Bible. Because the question was asked, how can we achieve greatness, great wealth, great power, great influence, great recognition, great self-esteem? How can we achieve greatness? The master teacher was asked. And here was his formula for achieving personal greatness. He said, find a way to serve the many. For service to many leads to greatness. For those that are interested. Some people aren't interested, but for those that are, service to many leads to greatness. Someone says, well, best I can do is just take care of myself, which is okay, but it doesn't lead to greatness. Someone says, I got enough bills of my own, I can't worry about someone else's bills. That's okay, but it doesn't lead to greatness. Greatness is helping people pay their bills. You forget about yours. Because if you help enough people pay theirs, yours disappear. Help people with problems, your problems disappear. The key to greatness, the master teacher taught, is finding a way. Now, a lot of people would like to serve many people, but they don't have a way. And what's exciting about you and your business is you've now got the way. Whether you use it or not, it's up to you. Whether you cash it in or not is up to you. Whether you make a fortune or just a little, that's all up to you. Each person's ambition. It's called the same marketing, the same product. The products are the same for everybody here. The marketing system is the same. The difference is each person's philosophy and each person's individual ambition. But whatever your ambitions are, now you've got the ways and means. And here's what you've got the ways and means to do. Serve as many people as you would like. Now, here's what's exciting about recruiting. With what you're involved in here, you can directly and indirectly affect the lives of dozens of people. Some of you are going to directly and indirectly affect the lives of hundreds of people. And some of you, if you wish, can directly and indirectly affect the lives of thousands of people. And the pay is accordingly. If you affect a few, you earn that pay. If you affect the many, you earn that pay. But the secret is found in the Bible. Service to many leads to greatness. Now, John Kennedy said it in his inaugural speech. Here's what he said. Don't ask. Don't we wish that was the current political philosophy? Where is John Kennedy and his philosophy? John Kennedy said, don't ask. That's important if you understand philosophy. He said, don't ask what the people can do for you. Don't ask what the country can do for you. Don't ask what the government can do for you. That's not how you get rich. That's not how you have high self-esteem. That's not how you get trophies to put on the mantle above the fireplace, asking what the people can do for you. Don't ask, he said, what the people can do for you, but ask, what could I do for my country? And the country means the people. What could I do for the people? I want trophies. I want recognition. I want high self-esteem. I would even like a chance to make a fortune. John Kennedy says it's easy. Don't ask what the people can do for you, but ask, what could I do for the people? Could I directly and indirectly serve many in my country? And now that you are participating in this program, the answer is yes. Now, Zig probably said it best. Zig's got some great stuff. Zig and I have been good friends for a lot of years. Zig says money isn't everything, but it ranks right up there with oxygen. Yeah, Zig, you're right. Zig says, my dentist told me, Zig, only floss the teeth you want to keep. You know, forget the rest. But here, Zig is famous for this now. This is one of Zig's philosophies, and it goes right along with the other two, the Bible and John Kennedy. Here's what Zig says. If you help enough people get what they want, you can have everything you want. If you help enough people get what they want, you can have everything you want. Now, wanting everything you want, we call that self-interest. But it's okay to have self-interest if you do it in a positive way. By helping enough people get what they want, you can have everything you want. Now, you can accomplish all that by learning this next skill called recruiting. And I learned it, and it made me fortunate. So now I've got 3 skills: milking cows, making sales, and recruiting. Here's the next skill I learned that paid big money: organizing. Once you got a few, get them to work together, see, and that's magic. Getting people to work together is magic. Now, yes, it's challenging, like having some, several members of your family, getting them to work together is challenging, but it's magic. Getting husband and wife to work together is challenging, but it's magic when it happens. But everything magic is challenging. Just got to jot that down. Everything magic is challenging. But once you figure out the challenge and go for it, then the magic occurs. Let me tell you how magical people working together is. Let me quote the Bible again. It says, if 2 or 3 agree on a common purpose, nothing is impossible. Just try that on for your mental size. If 2 or 3 agree on a common purpose, nothing's impossible. Everybody's looking for a challenge. Here's what I teach, especially the kids. Here's the best challenge in the world. Let's go do it. Not you go do it. Let's go do it. If 2 or 3 of us decide on a common purpose to do it, nothing's impossible. Incredible. Working together, organized. Now, when everybody's an independent, now it's a little more challenging. Like having kids, they've each got their own opinions. They've each got their own ambitions and desires. It's challenging. You've got a variety. But that's what makes life, the variety. And it is, in your business, it is challenging, getting people to work together. It's like herding cats. Sheep are easy, but you got to try cats, herding cats. But if you can possibly get it done, the power is so immense when you get people to work together. Here's one of the powers of working together: shared testimonials. If I've got somebody new and you're there and I'm there, I give them my testimonial, you give your testimonial. Maybe what tips the scales in getting me a new person is not my testimonial, but my partner's testimonial. Somebody I'm working with, their testimonial got it. Shared testimonials are so powerful. That's why working together is okay, is powerful. Now, working by yourself is okay. All this stuff is okay. Everybody needs to know, though, where are the advantages? And these are some of the advantages. I learned to organize, paid big money. Here's what I next learned to do: promote.
All right, guys, we're going to get started in exactly 60 seconds. In exactly 60 seconds, we're going to be getting started, fam. So go in those group chats, go in those telegrams, go in those discords, and let everybody know not to miss this call. I'm going to be going over how to get a return on failure. This is a John C. Maxwell training that he's done for probably he's probably done it less than 5 times. Honestly, he hasn't taught this to anybody. So if you guys want to get some real private sauce, make sure your squad is on this call, guys. 60 seconds till we start. It's been live for 14 minutes. I usually start at 15.
Promotion now pays staggering money. Now the company comes up with what we call major promotions. Here's what you've got to come up with: the smaller promotions. The company comes up with major recognition. You've got to come up with small recognition for your people around you. The top 5. The company's got top 5. You've got your own top 5 in maybe 2 or 3 categories: top 5, top 5, top 5. And those little recognitions, to reach certain levels in the company, you have to take major steps. But for you, recognition, let them take small steps. Here's one of the secrets of your kind of business: rewarding people for small steps of progress. Rewarding people. Sometimes it's just recognition, handshake, pat on the back. Mary, you're doing a fabulous job. And you figure out what those recognitions are. Small steps of progress. Guess what promotion pays if you learn it well? Big money. Getting people to do something they wouldn't ordinarily do by themselves. People will do some unique things by themselves, but if you can figure out a way to say, Mary, if you do this and this, she says, well, I'll go for it. Now, she wouldn't have thought of that on her own. Here's what works magic. It's better than money. Money is a bit unimportant. Here's what's important. Ingenuity. The best place to wake up your ingenuity.
All right, guys. Welcome to Mornings with Nano. I am so blessed and excited to be here on this call with all of you. Hope everybody's having a blessed morning. I know I am. And I'm really looking forward to this call because I know a lot of you are going to get a lot of value from this morning call. Thank you so much for taking the time to jump on this beautiful Friday morning. Thank God it is Friday, TGIF, right? And, I'm very excited for it. I hope everybody's looking forward to it as well. I want to get right into it. So let's express some gratitude really quick in the chat box. What is one thing that you are grateful for? Type it in the chat box. Also, as you always know, big smiles. Yes. Big smiles for the family, because honestly, what's about to be shared on this call is going to be extremely powerful. So I need all of you to take notes, okay? I need all of you to take notes, but I am grateful for God. I am grateful for my family. I am grateful for my mom, my dad, my little brother, my goddaughter, Dariana. I'm extremely grateful for my mentors, Matt Rosa, Matt Gribley, Jason Brown, Alex Morton, and my brother Darwin for putting me on. I'm extremely grateful for my day one brothers, my friends growing up. Grateful for my health, grateful for my team, the leaders within my organization and the leadership dynasty. Extremely grateful for Katie, grateful for Jen, Jasmine, grateful for this house that I live in, grateful for Hazel, grateful for Natalia. Extremely, she's right there. Grateful for the wisdom on a day-to-day basis that we receive from our creator. I'm extremely grateful for my sis Jennifer Mirabal. I see you in there, sis. I see you. Just extremely grateful for my IG familia as well, who jumps on faithfully. And just extremely grateful for everybody. The Mornings with Nano family. Grateful for Sana and everything that she does. Sana is one of a kind, so I'm extremely grateful for her, and just extremely grateful for so much to be grateful for. Grateful for my sis Melissa Alyssa. Is it Eliza? Yes. Sorry, Melissa Eliza. Sorry, she's probably gonna be mad at me for saying it wrong. G Hundo, my brother. Sandy, Miss Sandy is the best. Love you. Okay, let me set this up. All right, guys. So getting this started now. So everybody let your people know. Let's run the play. My sis, who else is here? I see Julie's here, Nyla's here, Shalana, my sis Shalana. My brother Jalon is here. All right, so at the top of your paper, write how to get a return on failure. That is what we're going to talk about today. How do we get a return on failure? Now, this training was given to us by John C. Maxwell, okay? And John C. Maxwell, he was invited to an event in Houston, Texas that I went to over the weekend. And he came, and honestly, guys, I've never, ever experienced something like that before in my whole entire life. John C. Maxwell is a true author and a true legend of the game. For those who don't know who John C. Maxwell is, let me just give this guy an edification really quick. John C. Maxwell is the top leadership expert in the world, okay? He is worth, all right, not that money is anything, but he is worth over $700 million, okay? He's written over 80 books in his lifetime. He has spoken at the biggest companies, leadership experts in the world. I'm talking about the Apples, the Microsoft, the Chick-fil-A's, the Microsoft. Like, He is literally the top leadership expert in the world. He has, coaches, I think over 44,000 coaches, leadership expert coaches all around the world. We're talking about someone who has read the most leadership books and has studied leadership more than anyone that has ever lived on this world. Literally, since Adam and Eve, he said that he has been the author and the person who has read more leadership books and has studied this more than anyone in the world. So who I'm going to be talking to you guys about today is a legend. We're talking about the greatest to ever do it. He is the Michael Jordan, all right, of leadership. Okay, when you talk about the greatest to ever do it, okay, I can one day say that I got a chance to see the greatest to ever do it in person. Okay. And he did a training that he hasn't even yet finished writing this book from, right? So the whole book that he's going to be writing, it's about how to get a return on failure. All right. We've been taught our whole lives, okay, about how to get a return on investment. Okay. All right. We've been taught how to get returns on different things, but we've never been taught how to get a return on failure. And I know some of you guys were at this event, but I want to be able to break every point down a lot more, okay? Because as you guys can see, I read these books to you guys sometimes, but I break it down to a more simple manner. Like he says, if you can't teach it to a kindergarten, all right, it doesn't matter because they're not going to be able to understand this. So type a 1 in the chat box if you guys like when I break things down into a more simple concept that everybody can understand and everybody can get it. If you like that, put a 1 in the chat box. Right? Great stuff. All right. So we're going to talk about that today because it's important that everybody understands how you can have a return on failure. And I feel like in this business and in life, we're going to fail more than anything in this and more than anything else. And the way he started it off, I'll never forget it. He talked about, what would you do if failure wasn't an option? Okay. What would you do? I want you guys to write this question down. What would you do if failure wasn't an option? If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? Okay. What would you go out there and accomplish? Okay. Because you see, that's how we should be treating life. If you knew that you could not fail, what would you go out there and do? What would you go out there and accomplish? What would you go out there and attempt if you knew you couldn't fail? Would you go and get that house that you've always wanted? Would you go and achieve that rank that you've always wanted to achieve? What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Okay. Well, guess what? Everything that you want in life, okay, and everything that you think that you can get, you actually can get it. Because understand, as long as you learn about how to get a return on failure, nothing else matters, fam. I need you all to understand what it is that I'm going to go over here today. Okay. And he went over 7 points on how to get a return on failure. So I need you guys to take really good notes. All right. Really good notes on this because this is once in a lifetime information. Something that I loved about John C. He gave beautiful stories. All right. Every point. And one of the things that he said, before he even started teaching, he said, I'm going to teach you guys this lesson. And, a few years from now, you guys can tell your friends how you guys got a chance to meet me in Houston, Texas, and you guys shared these notes with me, and I wrote a book on it. Okay. And I thought that was pretty awesome that he said that, like how humble he said that. He literally said, hey, guys, look, take these notes, and a few years from now, okay, when I release the book, okay, tell your friends that you met me in Houston, Texas, and you shared these notes with me, and I wrote a book on it. Okay. And it's so beautiful that he did that. And I love that because it showed his humility. It showed how humble he is. And, I love how much, he just kept the crowd and all of us so engaged, right? So we're gonna get right into it, right? The 7 points, okay, the 7 principles to get a return on failure. All right. Number 1, all right, is keep failure and success together. Okay. Keep failure and success together. Now, what do we mean by keep failure and success together? A lot of people tend to, put success and failure on different plates. They think that one is positive and one is negative. But in reality, we must keep failure and success together. Because in reality, when you fail, you actually win. Okay? When you fail, you actually win. Okay? Because understand that fail, FAIL, stands for your first attempt in learning. Okay? So you never lose, you always learn. And when you learn, you gain. So there's no such thing as failure and there's no such thing as failure and success being on different plates. Okay? Failure and success must stay together. Okay? Because without one another, we can't get to where we want to go. Without failure, we can't get to where we want to go. Think about that. We have to fail our way to success. Okay? We must fail our way to success. So if you think about it, failure and success are together, because without failure, we can't get success. So failure and success must stay together. What most people are doing, though, okay, what most people are doing is they're keeping failure and success away from each other. They look at failure like it's one of the worst things that has happened in their life. They look at failure like it's something that's taking away from them. Okay? And you need to understand that failure is what's keeping you alive. Okay? And he said something that I really, really appreciated. He said, failure will introduce you to humility. Failure will introduce you to humility, and humility is what allows you to learn. 7 principles on how to get a return on failure. That's what it is. 7 principles to get a return on failure. So failure will introduce you to humility, and humility is what allows you to learn. And when I read that and when he said that, that made a lot of sense, because I can see how there were certain times where I kind of grew a little bit of an ego for where I was at, right? I grew a little bit of an ego for the success that I was accomplishing, okay? And when I failed, it always humbled me, okay? And when it humbled me, it allowed me to learn from my failures. It humbled me to learn from the things that I wasn't doing. Okay. And failing will always keep you humble. When you see people fail, it's because they needed to be humbled. They grew too much of an ego. And remember, ego, EGO, is edging God out. Edging God out. Okay. And I know a lot of you guys want me to have the whiteboard here. We're going to have to figure out a way so we can get you guys a whiteboard. Maybe I get my own whiteboard, something. But I know a lot of you guys miss it. But trust me, we're going to step it up. No worries. But for now, you got to take good notes, okay? You have to take good notes. All right? So understand this. Success with failure gives you resilience. Success with failure gives you resilience. Now, who in the chat box can give me the definition of resilience. Okay. Does anybody know the definition of resilience? Can anybody off the top of their head tell me what the definition of resilience is? Okay. I say a very specific, there you go. Drew Miller got it. There you go. Drew got it. Ricardo got it. There you go. Resilience is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm, without losing your confidence. All right. Going from failure to failure without losing an enthusiasm. So that's why we must keep success and failure together at all times. This is a perspective thinking. Okay. What we tend to do as leaders and as people, sometimes we look at failure as a bad thing. We look at failure as something that is taking away from us, like something that is depleting us, like it's something that is pulling us back. But in reality, failure is getting us closer to where we want to go. Failure is actually what's pushing us forward each and every single day. And like I told you guys before, my mentor always said, he said, Nano, if you're not failing enough, that means you're not going hard enough. If you are not failing enough, that means that you are not going hard enough, which means that you want to be failing a lot. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why I've completely changed my perspective on failure. I used to be somebody that I would allow failure to affect me very bad. I didn't like to fail. Nobody likes to fail. Nobody likes to fail. And for a long time, it took me some time to really embrace and understand that failure was my friend. That failure was the key to success. And once I understood that, it changed my life. Because look at what he said. He said, when you fail, you either learn or you leave. You will get a return on failure when you understand how they work together. You will get a return on failure when you understand that they work together. And he gave us an advice. He said that every month of your life, you should have one learning lunch. Okay. I'll be honest with you guys. I haven't applied this every single month, but I've had learning lunches before. Okay. And these learning lunches are so powerful. He said every month you should have lunch with somebody. Okay. And you don't have to eat nothing. You invite somebody to lunch that knows more than you, that makes more money than you, that's more talented than you, all of these things. And you ask them questions. And he has 7 questions that he asks people. Okay, I actually have the 7 questions somewhere. I would have to post them in the Nanos Keys to Success chat. But every single one of us should start doing that. I challenge every single one of you guys on this call to go on a learning lunch this month in February. Find somebody that is more talented than you, that makes more money than you, that knows more than you, that is close, that has a better relationship with their creator than you. Right. Anybody. And you know what you do? You have a learning lunch with them. And you ask them the 7 questions. Okay, there is 7 questions. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but I know one of them is this one. Okay. What is the most important lesson that you've ever learned? What is the most important lesson that you've ever learned? I know that's one of the questions. I know one of the questions is, what are you learning right now? Another one of the questions is, what are some books, audios, and events that you recommend that I go to? Can't remember all of them off the top. Oh, one of them was, who do you know that I should know? That was one of the questions. if anybody knows the questions and you've been on Mornings with Nano when I taught this lesson, can you put them in the chat box if you have them or if you remember them? But I know like 4 out of the 7 questions from what I remember. Okay. But go on a learning lunch this month. Do it. Trust me. It'll make a huge difference. So number 1 is keep failure and success together. Number 2, very important. Principle number 2 on how to get a return on failure is understand the difference between good misses and bad misses. Understand the difference between good misses and bad misses. Okay. Now, what is the definition of a good miss? A good miss means you got closer to your goal and you learned something, but you missed. A bad miss means you took steps back. Okay. Remember, guys, when you go for success, all right, when you go for a goal, you might not be able to accomplish that goal on your first attempt. All right. You might go and do your best each and every single day. Let's just use it as an example. Okay. Sean Murphy, love you, brother. Appreciate you so much. Let's say your goal was to hit a certain rank, for example. As a matter of fact, let's make it even better. Let's put it by numbers wise. Okay. Let's say your goal was to get 10 enrollments in the month of February. You wanted to have 10 new people join your business in the month of February. Okay. Stay with me here. Our goal is to get 10 enrollments in the month of February. Okay. Let's say that's all of our goals. And I'm just speaking in all these terms. All right. So our goal is 10 enrollments this month. Okay. I think somebody just dropped the questions here. There it goes right here. Young Millionaire dropped them. What are you learning now? How has failure shaped your life? Who do you know that I should know? What have you read that I should read? What have you done that I should do? And how can I add value to your life? Those are the 7 questions right there, including the question that I asked. So if you guys wanted to know what the questions were, those were it right there. But let's go back to what I was saying in terms of the goal. So let's say our goal was 10 enrollments. All right. And let's say, for example, I got 8 enrollments out of the 10. Is that a good miss or is that a bad miss? Type it in the chat box. If my goal was 10 enrollments for the month, but I got 8, is that a good miss or is that a bad miss? Okay, that's a good miss. Okay, why? Because I set a goal for 10, but I missed it by just a little bit. It was a good miss. Okay, it was a good miss. I got 8 enrollments. Amazing. Now, what if I set a goal to hit 10 enrollments, but I only got 1? And I didn't do anything else for the rest of the month. Is that a good miss or is that a bad miss? That's a bad miss. Okay. Why? Because you said you were going to do something. Guess what? And you didn't do it. You said you were going to get 10 enrollments, but you barely even got 1. You barely got 1. That's a bad miss. So what does that mean? You just took steps back. You just took steps back because you said you were going to do something and you didn't even attempt to really try and do it. Like, you didn't even go for it. So that's a bad miss. Okay. Now, Milton said, what if you learned a lot in the process? Yes, you could learn a lot in the process, but guess what? It's still a bad miss. Because you set a goal to do something and you didn't even come close to it. Okay, you didn't even come close to it at all. So it's a bad miss. Okay, it's a bad miss. Regardless of how you put it, the results tell the story. Vaughn knows results at the end of the day tell the story. So Vaughn understands. Okay, it's a bad miss. Okay, for example, I set a goal to enroll 20 people into my business in 30 days. And right now I'm at 14 people. So I'm working towards this goal. God forbid I don't get it within 30 days. Guess what? I got 15, 16, 17, however much it is. I'm going to be at a pretty good chance to have a good miss. But if I would have set a goal to do 20 and I got none, or I got one or two, that's a bad miss. Okay. And he tells a story. He told a very funny story about a book that had 5 chapters. And I'm going to do my best to repeat the story verbatim. And I want you guys to, let me know in the chat whether it was a good miss or whether it was a bad miss. Okay. So he told a story about this person, and it was a book of 5 chapters. Okay. And it's important that you guys understand this. All right. And in the book, there's a person that walks down the street. Okay. And he sees a hole and he falls into the hole. Okay. He gets up, he walks away. Good miss or bad miss? Okay. Type it in the chat box. A person walks down the street, he sees a hole and he falls into it. Is that a good miss or is that a bad miss? That's a bad miss, right? That was the first chapter. Okay. Stay with me here. Second chapter, same person walks down the same street, okay, sees the hole, falls into it, stays there for a little bit, okay, realizes, gets up and walks away. Is that a good miss or a bad miss? Okay, it's a bad miss. It stays a bad miss. All right, he's seen it. No, it's not a good miss. It's a bad miss. Still a bad miss, right? Because you think about it, he knows there's a hole there, okay, and he fell back into it, okay? So that's the second chapter, all right? Now, the third chapter, okay, same guy walks down the same street, okay? He sees the hole. He looks at it. He falls back into it. He falls back into it. So he sees it, and he's like, he falls back into it. He gets up. He walks away. Bad miss or good miss, guys? It's a bad miss. All right. Now, the fourth chapter, okay? The fourth chapter, same guy walks down the same street. He sees the hole. He acknowledges it, but he walks around it this time. So he doesn't fall into it this time. He walks around the hole this time. Is this a good miss or a bad miss? Is this a good miss or a bad miss? All right. Still a bad miss. It's still a bad miss. Because even though he knows that there's a hole down the street, he's still walking down that road. Now, in the fifth chapter, the guy sees the road. He sees there's a hole down this street and he chooses to go down another street. Is that a good miss or a bad miss? That's the best miss. This is the good miss now. Why? Because he realized, okay, that this road, okay, had the hole in it. So all he had to do was change direction, do something different. Okay, he had to do something different. That's the good miss, because he chose to do something that wasn't going to get him to fail. He knows that if he walks down this road, there's a hole, okay, and there is a potential that he could fall into that hole. So for the first 3 chapters, he fell into the hole. For the first 3 chapters, he fell back into the hole. The fourth one, he walked around it. Still a bad miss, though. Okay, even though he walked around it, it's still a bad miss. But the fifth one, he chose not to walk down this road and actually walk down the road where there's no hole on it. That's a good miss. So how does this relate to life? How does this relate to us? Okay, we know that we're doing something wrong. We know that we're doing things that are not bringing us success, and we continue to do it. Each and every single day, we continue to do the things that are not bringing us success. Okay? It's called insanity. For the first 4 chapters, it was insanity. He was doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. That's what insanity is when you do the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result. So right now, for example, it is February 11th, 2022. It's been, what, 40 days since the year started, 40, 50 days? If you've been doing the same thing over and over and over again this year and you haven't gotten any results and you continue to do it, you're insane. Because if you see that you're doing something and it is not bringing you any results, any happiness, any peace, any money, then why would you continue to do it? If you know that waking up at the time that you're waking up isn't bringing you results, then why are you doing it? If you know that being on your phone and on Instagram, scrolling each and every single day isn't bringing you results, then why you continue to do it? If you know that sitting at home and not prospecting, not studying isn't bringing you results, then why continue to do it? This is where I need you guys to understand this. You've been waking up at 8 a.m. for this year, and you're still stuck at the same place. You still have the same amount of money in your bank account, if not less, but you continue to wake up at 8 a.m. It doesn't make any sense. You know that you're supposed to be reading books, but you're not reading books, then how do you expect to grow? You know you're supposed to be on Mornings with Nano Monday through Friday, but you only jump on when you remember or when you can, and you're still stuck at the same place. That's the problem. That's the problem right there. The problem isn't anybody else. The problem is you. You keep walking. You're the guy in the book that keeps walking down the same road and falling into the hole. That's who you are. You're not doing something different. You're not walking down a new street. You know that walking down this road is going to get you to fail, and you continue to do it. You know waking up at the time that you're waking up isn't bringing you success. You know that hanging out with the people that you're hanging out with isn't bringing you success. You know that what you're doing on a day-to-day basis isn't bringing you success, but you continue to do it.
Insanity.
You got to understand this stuff. This is so key. And I love the story because it made so much sense. I was like, yo, that was fire. A lot of people missed it. I got it. It made sense to me. He said a good excuse is your worst excuse because you believe it. He said you determine your misses based on how you respond to it. You determine your misses based on how you respond to your misses. Do you make adjustments or do you continue to do the same thing? This business and this life that we live is a game of adjustments. That's all it is. It's a game of adjustments. If you see that it's not working, do something else. If you know that what you're doing isn't working, do something different. So that was number 2. Number 3, how to get a return on failure. Number 3 is embrace hard. He said everything worthwhile is uphill. Everything that we want in life is uphill. Everything. Whatever we want in life, all success, all accomplishments, all the prosperity, the car you want, the house you want, retiring your family, giving back, traveling the world, everything you want is uphill. Everything. Everything we want is uphill. All your dreams are uphill. All your desires are uphill. Everything is uphill. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. So you have to embrace hard. What does Les Brown say? If you do what's hard now, your life will be easy later. But if you do what's easy now, your life will be hard later. That's how it works. Right? I know a lot of you guys, what do we want? Do we want our life to be easy later, or do we want it to be hard later? Type it in the chats. What do you guys want? Do you want your life to be easy later, or do you want it to be hard later? We want it to be easy. We want money to not be a problem. We want to be able to, hey, yo, fam, you know what? Imagine this. Imagine how cool this will be. If we would just be like, imagine 5 years from now, we'll just be like, everybody here is rich. We all making money, so on and so forth. And I'd be like, yo, guys, you know what? I feel like going to Turks and Caicos tomorrow. How about we all take a trip over there? Let's take the jet and let's fly to Turks and Caicos. You guys book your places, and I'll see you guys there tomorrow. Imagine how dope that'll be. That we could just be like, yeah, let's go here. Let's go to Costa Rica tomorrow, Nano. That we have no problems at all. And I can literally be like, yo, fam, like I can literally come on mornings with them and be like, hey, look, guys, I'm actually going to Costa Rica tomorrow. I'm going to be staying at the Four Seasons in Tamarindo. I'll see you guys there. Book a room. It's like $2,000 a night, but you know, that's not a problem. We'll be flying first class there, and I'll see you guys there. Let's go have some fun for the weekend in Costa Rica. Imagine how dope that is going to be. Yo, let's go to the Maldives. I'm telling you, you stick with me, that's the life we're going to live. That's easy. But what? Because we did what was hard now. So we got to embrace the hard. But look at what he said. Write this down. Make sure you write this down. Put a star around it. Put a square around it. He said, everybody has uphill dreams, but downhill habits. Everyone has uphill dreams, but downhill habits. Wow. You want these dreams that are uphill, but your habits are downhill, family. How is that going to work? It doesn't coincide with each other. It doesn't mix. Doesn't mix. He told the story, and I recommend this to all the parents that are on this call. If you have kids that are over the age of, I guess, 4 or 5 years old that they can read, John C. Maxwell pays his grandkids to read. Literally, he pays his grandkids to read. Okay? That's what they get paid for. They don't get paid for chores. They get paid to read. And he said such a beautiful story about how now, you know, his grandkids, okay, he pays them to read. So what he does is, right, he gives them the book and they have to read the book, okay? And whenever they find a quote that is like good or that they like, they have to text it to him. And if he likes it and if he approves of it, they make Papa's list. Right? Papa's list is his list, right? And when all his grandkids come together, you know, they talk about, hey, I was able to get, you know, 2 quotes on Papa's list today. How many did you get? Right? So he literally makes sure that all his grandkids are all reading from the earliest age possible. And when he said that, I'm like, wow, I can't wait to do that to my kids and to my grandkids one day. They're going to be reading from the beginning. I'm going to pay my kids to read. I started to think about it. I'm like, man, who can I pay to read? I'm going to start paying my goddaughter to read when she gets old enough to read. I'm going to pay her to read. You want money? You want me to give you gifts for Christmas? Here you go. And it was so dope to even hear that. I was like, bro, that's so brilliant. Because that's what his dad did for him. His dad will pay him to read. He said, Success Magazine did a top 25 must-read books, he said. Right? And out of the top 25 books that you must read to be successful, okay, 19 out of 25 of them he had already read. The other 6 were unreleased. He had read all the books. He's read all the books to be successful. He had read all the books to be successful. Such an incredible thing. And, he said, embrace hard. He says, you like what I do, but will you do what I did? He said, you like what I do. Yes, you like that I travel the world and I speak on stages all around the world and I make hundreds and millions of dollars and I impact people and, I help people get to the next level. You like what I do, right? He says, but will you do what I did? He said, my day starts at 5 a.m. I write from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. You want to do what I did? All right, come. You like what I do, right? But are you willing to do what I did? My day starts at 5 a.m. I write from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. every day. Are you willing to do what I did? So that's my question for a lot of people here, right? A lot of people see me, Nano, yes, Chairman 25, podcasts, travel the world, mentors, top 5 in the world, all of this stuff, baseball academies. You like what I did, right? But are you willing to do what I did to get here? Are you willing to make the sacrifices that I made to get here? Are you willing to embrace the hard times that I did to get here? Are you willing to cut all your friends off like I did? Are you willing to read the books, listen to the audios, meditate, read, early mornings, late nights, hundreds of hours? Are you willing to do it? That's what it takes. So you got to embrace the hard, because guess what? Shortcuts don't pay off in the distance. Shortcuts do not pay off in the distance. So that was number 3. Number 4, okay, is anticipate failure. Okay, anticipate failure. You should know, okay, that if you embark on a journey, there is failure ahead of it. On anything that you do, you're bound to fail. Okay, you're bound to fail on any journey that you go on. So anticipate it. He said, you have to have mental preparation for this stuff. He said, when opportunity comes, it's already too late to prepare. This is what I've been telling my team. I'm like, yo, guys, the months of January and February are months of preparation. The season starts in March. The season is from March till November. Okay, that's the season. That's when we go full throttle. That's when it all happens. Right now is the season of preparation. Usually the months of preparation and network marketing, for my people who do network marketing, the seasons of preparations are December, January, and February. Those 3 months right there are like seasons of preparation. We call it the preseason. But from March to November, that's the season. That's the game. This is when we got to be ready to go all in right here. Okay. So if momentum was to hit right now, are you ready to go into momentum? Ask yourself that. If momentum was to start today and we were to go into full momentum right now as an organization, as a team, are you ready? Are you prepared? Are you ready? Do you know how to invite? Do you know how to prospect? Do you know how to edify? Do you know how to close? Do you know how to present the business? Do you know how to tell your story? Do you know all these things? Because the moment momentum hits and it's time to put the work in, are you ready? Do you have the skills to keep the momentum? Because if you don't, you're probably going to fold. So when opportunity comes, it's already too late to prepare. How are you going to wait till momentum to start to then start to prepare to develop the skills? It doesn't make any sense. And I've seen so many people make that mistake. They wait until momentum comes to start developing the skills instead of preparing for the momentum before the momentum actually comes. So anticipate failure. You know that if you don't prepare for the momentum that's going to happen starting in March, you're going to fail come there. If you guys are not ready for the momentum that is coming in March, you're not going to be able to embrace it. It's going to be too much for you. You're going to be like, damn, I feel left behind. Everybody's hitting ranks. Everybody's leveling up. Everybody's making money. And you're just sitting on the sidelines like, yo, where did everybody go? Where did everybody go? Guess what? You didn't prepare. You slacked off in February. You didn't jump on Mornings with Nano in March. You slacked off. You slipped up. And now you're going to pay. That's how it works. I've seen it so many times. I'll never forget that one year. I think it was it might have been 2018 or 2017. I took January and February as a joke, man. Man, did that cost me, bro. I'm honestly scared to slip up in January and February because of that one year. Ever since that one year, I never slipped. Because I understood how important it was after that. Because you know what happened? Because I slipped up in January and February, because I didn't do my morning routine, because I didn't read the books, because I didn't jump on the calls, because I wasn't serious about my success in January and February, when momentum hit in March, I wasn't ready to receive the momentum. So then I spent the rest of the year trying to catch up to the momentum, trying to keep up with it. Instead of riding the wave, I was trying to catch the wave. So while everybody that was prepared was riding the wave, I was sitting there trying to catch the wave, like sitting there at shore, trying to see if I could catch a good wave to take off on. And I stayed at the same place the whole entire year. You know how much that sucked? Pretty bad. Don't be the person that doesn't catch the wave because you weren't prepared for it. Be the person that has been practicing how to wave, how to surf, so that when the wave comes, you're ready to surf. You're ready to ride the wave. Because everybody who's not ready to ride the wave, they get exposed once the wave comes, because we see who was really practicing and who wasn't practicing. We'll see who was really showing up and who wasn't showing up. Those that slip up, those that fall off the wave, we know those people didn't practice. We know that those people weren't ready. That's how it works. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5 is develop a process to receive a return on failure. Develop a process to receive a return on failure. Okay, now I'm going to give you guys the success formula right here. It's 5 things. All right, this is the success formula. All right. Number 1 is testing. Okay. Number 2 is fail. Number 3 is learn. Number 4 is improve. And number 5 is re-enter. Okay. That is the process to receive a return on failure. Number 1 is you test it. You're attempting something new. Okay. Number 2 is you fail. Number 3 is you learn. Number 4 is you improve. And then number 5, you re-enter. Okay. That's how it works. That's how it works. So perfect. I try a recruiting tactic on somebody, right? I attempt a new recruiting strategy on somebody. I attempt it. I fail. Okay. I go back. All right. What can I learn from that recruiting strategy that didn't work for me? Okay, great. Maybe I did it too aggressively. Maybe I didn't do it with enough confidence, so on and so forth. Okay, this next time around, I'm going to say this instead, and I'm going to posture up. That is my improvement. Okay, let's try it again. Let's attempt it again and re-enter. That's how life works. That's how I've done everything. I've done different systems. I've done different things, and I've attempted these things. They didn't work. I go back, I improve, and then I run the play again, and I re-enter. That is the process of learning. That is the success formula. That's number 5. Okay. Number 6 is learn to encourage others with your failures. Learn to encourage others with your failures. If you want to impress people, talk about your success. But if you want to impact people, talk about your failures. If you want to impress people, talk about your success. So if I want to impress you guys, guess what? I'll talk about I have this, I have that, I've been here, I've been there, my mentor is this person, I've made this much money. But if I want to impact you guys, I got to talk about my failures, how I got through them. You don't know how many people have been impacted by my story of me hitting chairman, me hitting 6 figures and losing it and getting it back. People are impressed by my accomplishments, but the way I impact people is through my failures. So what would you rather do? Would you rather impress people or would you rather impact? Put that in the chat box. What would you rather do? Would you rather impress people or would you rather impact people? We would rather impact people. And the only way you can impact people is through your failures. It's the only way. It's the only way. So if you're going through a bad time right now, if you're going through struggles, if you're going through something right now, guess what? You're going to impact people because of that. One day, we're going to look back at whatever you're going through right now, and we're going to laugh about it, and you're going to impact somebody because of the story you're going to tell. You're going to tell somebody about how you lost it all, how people left your business, how this happened, that happened, how you made bad investments, and how this person did this to you, and how this didn't work out in your favor, and you still made it through. That is what's going to impact somebody. Type a 1 in the chat box if you know that your story, when you tell it 6 months from now, is going to impact somebody because of what you're going through right now. Put a 1 in the chat box if you know for a fact that your story 6 months to a year from now, when you share it, is going to make a massive impact in somebody's life. Because you're like, yo, Nano, man, I'm going through something right now, bro. But when I get through this and people see that I made it through this, everybody's going to be impacted. I can't wait for that. I can't wait to share my story 6 months to a year from now. Ooh, it's about to be lit. I can't wait to tell my story. Somebody said they ain't gonna believe it. Guys, and I feel the same way. I wish you guys would have seen me 4 years ago. If you would have saw me 4 years ago, you guys will never stop working. If you saw the growth from 4 years ago. There's certain people that saw me when I started this business, and sometimes they don't even, they be like, bro, I can't even fathom how far you've come, bro. People that know me, they're like, bro, I can't even believe it sometimes, to be real, bro. There's people still to this day that call me up, that grew up with me. They be like, bro, Nano, I can't believe it, OG, to be real. I thought you were going to be in the streets, something. But doing what you're doing, bro, I can't believe it, my brother, to be real with you. But I'm proud of you. So that's what I'm telling you guys. Like, you can do it. You can really, really do it. You can do it. I promise you. If you would have saw me 4 years ago, you would not stop working. You would be like, yo, if Nano did it, oh my God, I could 100% do it if Nano did it. And like Eunice said, it's true. You could go on my IG. I haven't deleted none of my pictures. You can scroll all the way down, and my pictures go back 10 years to 2012 when I first got Instagram. 10 years. You could go back and see all of it. I left them all there for that same reason, so people could see the growth. People could see the impact. And I give all the glory and thanks to God. Okay? So that's important. I want friends, not fans. I don't want you guys to be my fans. No. I want you guys to be my friends, my family. That's what it's about. Fans are impressed by my accomplishments. Family and friends, they're impressed by my failures. They're impacted by my failures. Okay, so that's number 6. All right, and then number 7 was my absolute favorite one. He said, value only the lessons that failure can teach you. Value only the lessons that failure can teach you. Value those lessons, guys. Because it's the only thing that can teach you those lessons is failure. The only thing. All these lessons that you're going through right now, only failure can teach it to you. Nobody else. He told a funny story about how, he went on a cruise with his wife for 2 weeks. And, he went on a cruise and, he said, I had to compromise because I thought it was supposed to be only a 6-day cruise, but it ended up being a 2-week cruise. And I had to compromise with my wife because I told her, I said, the only way I'm going to go on this 2-week cruise is if you allow me to, write a book while I'm there. And that's when he was writing the book, Failing Forward. And when the cruise finished, he finished writing the book and, his wife was going through it. And his wife was very happy. She's like, yo, I love this book. Like, you literally talk about your failures on every single page. Like, every single chapter, you talk about your failures. And, people are going to love it. People are going to be able to relate to this book so much. I love it. I think it's a great idea. This is going to be a great book. And she said, but there's only one problem. And he said, what is it? She said, you didn't put all your failures in the book. She said, I see a series here. You should write half a dozen of these books. You have so many more failures that you haven't put into this book. Okay. And the moral of the story was that even though he wrote a book on failure, there were still so many more failures that he didn't put in the book. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, yo, I see a series. Because remember, he's been married to his wife for 50 years. So she's seen everything. She's seen the whole journey. Okay. So she's seen all of his failures. She said, only one problem with the book. All your failures are not in the book. She said, I see a series, right? I see a failure 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. I see a half a dozen of these right here. So funny. We need more books, right? Because I think he's only written like 2 books on failure, if I'm not mistaken. But guess what? He says, value only the lessons that failure can teach you. Such an important thing. Okay. And remember, guys, the mistake that some of us make as leaders is that we want everybody to take the trip with us when everybody's not meant to take the trip with us. That's one of the biggest mistakes we make as leaders. And that was something that I took. There's certain people in my life that I want them to take the trip with me so bad, but they don't want to take that trip. And that's one of the biggest mistakes we make as leaders is we want everybody to take the trip with us. And not everybody could take the trip with us. Because you got to understand that your trip might not be their trip. And that's okay. You still love them and you still appreciate them the same. I've had people leave my business that I'm still good friends with. If anything, I do business with some people that were in my business and left. To be honest, still talk to them. We still laugh. We still chill. It's okay. Life is not meant for everybody to go on your trip. Those that are meant to be there will be there. Don't take it personal when someone leaves your business. Don't take it personal when somebody that, you expected to ride with you doesn't ride with you. If they're meant to take the trip with you, they will take the trip with you 100%. So value only the lessons that failure can teach you. Value those lessons, because those are the lessons that are going to change your life forever. Okay, so those are the 7 principles to get a return on failure. Okay, I'm going to cover them one more time, actually. I don't know why I closed my notebook. Let me just run through them one last time, just in case you hopped on here at the end. All right. These are the 7 principles to getting a return on failure. Number 1, okay, keep failure and success together. That's number 1. Number 2, understand the difference between good misses and bad misses. All right. Number 3, okay, embrace hard. Number 4, anticipate failure. Number 5, develop a process to receive a return on failure. Number 6, encourage others with your failures. And number 7, value only the lessons that failure can teach you. Those are the 7 principles on how to get a return on failure, family. Okay. I hope that you guys got value from that. Put a 7 in the chat box if you guys got value from those 7 principles right there. Put some 7s in the chat box if you got some value from today's call. Also, like this video if you haven't. I would really, really appreciate it. Like this video if you have not yet. Okay. Like the video. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. But like I said again, number 1, keep failure and success together. Number 2, understand the difference between good misses and bad misses. Number 3, embrace hard. Number 4, anticipate failure. Number 5, develop a process. Develop a process to receive a return on failure. Number 6 was, can't remember off the top. And then number 7 was value only the lessons that failure can teach you. Okay. Very, very, very important, guys. So key information, take that in. Okay. And yes, I will drop the recording of the John C. Maxwell in the Telegram. Okay. Number 6 was encourage others with your failure. All right. I will drop the recording of it. You guys will be like, Nano, you did a good job, but you got to hear the recording, because you'll be able to hear all the stories that he tells in between, all that good stuff. You know, there's a lot of stories that I didn't even tell. There's so many stories. Like, every point he had a story behind it. So he would facts tell and then tell you a story to sell you on the point. That's why I loved it. That's why I noticed that as a speaker, he would tell a fact and then he would tell a story with the fact to sell you on the fact. So when he said embrace hard, he would tell you a story on how to embrace hard. When he said, you know, learn the difference between good misses and bad misses, he told the story about the guy walking down the street. Everything, every point he gave, every principle he gave, he told the story with it. Okay. So very, very powerful. And that's all it is right there. So thank you guys so much. Like this video, like this, subscribe to the channel, show love. It's Friday. I hope all of you really have a phenomenal rest of your weekends. Okay, I appreciate all of you for jumping on every single day this week. This week was super powerful. Yesterday was extremely, extremely powerful. I'm already excited to come back Monday for another lesson and be able to teach you guys some more stuff. If you guys don't know, it's live right now. There is an IBO Expo for those in IAM Academy. There is an expo right now for IBOs that started at 10 a.m. on Go Live. Do not miss it, okay? I'm literally running there right after this to go into the IBO Expo to check it out. So don't miss it. Good stuff coming. And just a quick prayer before we go. And let's run it up. Quick prayer. Bow your heads. Father God, thank you so much for blessing us with this beautiful, abundant day that's filled with your grace and filled with your blessings. We are so thankful for the lessons that you teach us on a day-to-day basis. You never seem to, amaze us with this amazing stuff each and every day, because every day is just a new lesson that we can learn from. And we've noticed that, everything that you teach us has a lot to do with the challenges and the failures that we're experiencing in life on a day-to-day basis. And I know that you're providing us with this wisdom so we can develop the strength to keep pushing through these tough times. So we appreciate you always being there for us. We appreciate you for always holding our hands and guiding us through the step-by-step process. We ask that you continue to guide us, continue to give us the strength, continue to eliminate the people and the situations and the circumstances that are not bringing us any kind of value into our lives. And anyone who's dealing with any diseases, with any tough times right now, we pray that you put your healing hand over them and guide them through these times, Father. We appreciate you so much, and we are thankful for you. Let's go out there and have a great Friday day, and let's go out there and have the rest of the weekend filled with blessings and filled with abundance, because we know that you are with us each and every single step of the way. So we thank you. We appreciate you. In your name we pray. Amen. 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 And we pray for Crixus as well. My brother, Cash's dog. We pray that you put your healing hand over Crixus, my brother's dog. He really, really needs that in these times right now. So we pray over his dog, and we pray that, God puts his healing hand over Crixus and gives him more life, more health, and more healing. Praying for both of them, honestly. So we appreciate you, fam. We love you guys so much. And we thank you guys for taking the time to jump on today's call. I'll see you guys back here Monday for another episode of Mornings with Nano. And let's run it all the way up. Appreciate y'all. And let's run it. God bless.
Let's go.